Welcome back to Euronews. Great to have you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Listen, we heard from Kaja Kallas there, resisting this pressure coming from Meloni, Macron, for the EU to engage directly in talks with Russia. Do you think it's the right moment?
I think that Emmanuel Macron and Meloni, they are right to say we need to be around the table, because today that's very sad. That's even a bit shocking. Who is defending the European interests around the table? Not the United States, not Russia. And I think that Ukraine and the EU, we have the same goals. We want more stability, we want peace, we want security, and I think it would be legitimate if there is a way to make sure that our European interests are better defended.
But who can go to those talks? Who can stand up to Putin? Is it Kaja Kallas? Because many leaders say she can't do it.
Yeah, I think that the European Council has a special role to play, because that's a very legitimate body with 27 heads of state, head of government, and that's, I think, a debate for the European Council. And I'm confident that sooner or later the European Council can give a mandate to someone. It can be to the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, for instance, to be the one who has the legitimacy to talk on behalf of the 27 member states.
Yet calls in this town this week from some quarters on the EU to consider merging the roles of the Council chief and the Commission chief. Is that something you'd support? Do we need a president of Europe?
Look, that's a traditional debate. And the day there will be a direct election of the European representatives of the European institutions, then that's a legitimate debate and question. But, you know, my impression is the following. The European Union is based on a double legitimacy. The member states on the one hand, and on the other hand, the European Parliament and the Commission with a certain role to defend the general European interest. And I think whatever we do in terms of institution, we will have always to take into account this double reality.
You had harsh words for the NATO chief, Mark Rutte, earlier this week. Do you think he's smooth-talking Trump too much? You say that Europe is able to defend itself.
I want to be clear. Mark Rutte is disappointing, and I'm losing confidence. Why? Because I'm not expecting Mark Rutte to be an American agent. I'm expecting Mark Rutte to work for the unity within NATO. Today we can see that Article 5 is put in danger. Why? Because of this very hostile rhetoric developed within the United States, developed by the White House, point one. We face intimidations, we face threats. What is going on with Greenland is not acceptable, and I expect Mark Rutte to be a strong voice to defend the unity within NATO.
If you were in his shoes, what should Europe do? How can it stand up to Trump?
It's very clear that appeasement will not work. Flattering diplomacy will lead to a failure, to a total failure. The more you use this flattering diplomacy, the more we are observing the United States are going very far in this tactic of intimidation and threats against their allies. And the EU is a very loyal partner and ally for the United States. That's why we do not deserve this behavior. We can see, for instance, the ambiguities coming from the United States with Russia, the way Donald Trump decided to give legitimacy to Vladimir Putin. We can see some sanctions against a former EU commissioner. That's not acceptable.
Finally, on Ukraine, very briefly, if you can, President Zelensky says the country should join the EU by 2027. Is that feasible?
He's absolutely right, and that's possible. That's a question of political will. The Ukrainians are making a lot of progress in terms of criteria that have to be fulfilled to join the EU, and everything must be done to help them, to support them. And I think that Ukraine, being member of the EU, it should take place as fast as possible.
Michel, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for coming to join us on set this morning. See you again soon, we hope.